What it do, Niner? Bam. Now, as we all know, Salah is up out of here. Even though the Titans kind of remind me of the Jets, and you in a division with D'Amico Ryan, the Jags are ascending, and the Colts. Like I said, the Colts should have went to the playoffs. I'm not gonna knock Salah for the decisions that he making. You feel me? I guess he want to be a leader. He want to be a leader. Now, the Niners had already said that they was going to give him a gang of bread or whatever it is. They don't never tell us the number, especially when it comes to coaches. They don't tell us that number until they get the job. They don't really, as far as what they negotiating for, they don't really say that, or they don't bring it out. But he wanted to go to the Titans, and I'm thinking because they said they finalized that on Monday. So I'm thinking soon as the game was over with Seattle, I'm thinking even before Seattle, before the Seattle game, he was already in negotiations with them. Because they said on Monday he was already out there finalizing stuff. I don't knock nobody for getting your bread. You know what I'm saying? Get your bread. Get your bread. But on the same sense, I always look at Salah, where's the loyalty? Where's that loyalty at? You know, you really didn't have no job, and the Niners gave you a gang of bread, and you came back, and you got the defense where it's supposed to be. Most of our core players are coming back. There's nobody that's saying they're retiring. Only person that's not coming back, I think, next year is Ayuk, and we all expected that. Everybody expected that. But as far as Fred Warner, Bosa, Mikael Williams, Trent Williams, Christian McCaffrey, Hughes Check, Jennings is a question, but he want to get paid. He want to get paid, and even when they asked him on their way out, he was like, they was asking him, you want, come back, or the money. He was like, I gotta talk to my agent, and I gotta, when they start talking that agent stuff, I know the saying. I know Lynch them would be like, oh, they talking, talking to agents. You can do that. But I know Jennings was real adamant last year or this year, the end of this year or the beginning of this year when he wanted his money. He kind of held out at the beginning too, until he said, all right, I'm a bet on myself. Well, I don't know if he reached all his incentives because he was hurt a lot of times. Now, I like Jennings. You could put Jennings in the slot. He a baller. But like I said, if you had like a Ricky Pearsall, you go get another wide receiver. Somebody nice, somebody that could run routes, they give them their money already. Give them their money, sign them to maybe a 2-year deal, give them their money, front load them a gang of the money, give them their money. And, you got Ricky Pearsall already signed in. Pearsall going to have to, and let me tell you something. I've seen when Pearsall was playing, he's a baller. And I seen one of the ones, like I said, when he caught the ball and he was running, dude hip dropped him and messed his leg up. That's not really his fault. But, we don't want to say he injury prone because, like I said, what happened with some of these players is we'll draft them. They don't really play their rookie year. They play a little bit. Then the second year, they get injured. Third year, they get injured. And then when they start coming up for contract, they want all this big money. I'm like, man, you really didn't even play. We didn't really see nothing from you. I mean, that's what it is. I'm saying, and like I said, it's like, Pearsall get top money because he was a first-round pick. So I'm like, we didn't really see. It's like Mikael Williams. Look, his first year, he played a couple of games, he injured. We seen a little something, but now he was injured. So imagine Mikael Williams, he come back again, and we don't want him to get injured. But if something happens, then 2 years, then 3 years go by, then it's like he's still, I want more money, my contract. Well, hold on, you ain't really did nothing, man. We ain't really seen nothing. Now, like I said, Bosa, his first year, he played a whole season. Remember, we went to the Super Bowl. His first year, he played a whole season. And then his second year, he played a whole season. So it's like we was able to see things. He didn't start getting really nicked up and everything else till like the third, fourth season, fifth. He didn't really start getting nicked up then, but we was able to get some solid years up out of him. At least 2 solid years up out of Bosa. You know what I'm saying? Fred Warner, too. We got a couple of we got like 4-5 years solid out of Fred Warner. Solid. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, you can't say nothing. You know what you're getting with Fred Warner. Saying Kittle, he started getting nicked up a little bit later on, but we've got some solid play from Kittle. That's why I don't have no problem with Kittle. Kittle is a beast, and he's always been a beast for the Niners. So we've got solid play from Kittle. But now he gets nicked up every now and then. He will get nicked up every now and then, and he will try to come back and everything else, especially the way they use him. He got to block. He got to catch. He got to do so much stuff. Like, okay, I know people see Tunges. Tunges is, he just going to catch. He going to catch. So he ain't really going to get injured like that. So, yeah, he going to run a couple routes. And when Tunges run a couple routes, he might have a safety on him. And I don't think the defense respect him like they do Kittle. So they might put a safety or a linebacker on him because they don't really respect his speed and everything else. Even though he can't catch, I do like Tunges. I think Tunges will grow. He'll grow from the fumbling the ball or you're getting spent around trying to reach out the ball. Of course, it's going to come out, man. You know what I'm saying? But now he'll grow from that. But he's not going to, right now, he ain't getting nicked up like that. So, with the Niners, like I said, and then we have older players. You got to remember, these players are not young. You know what I'm saying? Trent Williams is not a rookie. Juszczyk is not a rookie. Christian McCaffrey, these are not rookies. Fred Warner is not a rookie. Bosa's not a rookie. We got people that are not rookies. Or they're not even a year after. These people are older in football terms. Saying the secondary is where the youth is at. That's why Diamond Lenore can talk all the mess. He's like right in the sweet spot, and they paid him his bread. Upton Stout he's coming up. I like that. You know what I'm saying? Malik Mustafa, he's coming up. I like that. Jair Brown. These are people. The back part of the defense is youth. That's where the youth is at. But as far as some of the older people, you looking up front. I'm saying you looking up front. That's why they wanted to inject somebody like Michael Williams in there. So you inject that in there, and he's youth. You know what I'm saying? He's younger, a little bit younger, big guy. That's why I say it's going to be nice to see him in the offseason. It's going to be nice to see him in the offseason. Whoever the defensive coordinator be, whoever it is, whoever the defensive coordinator be, they got some good pieces to work with. They got some good pieces to work with. Now, I don't know how they're going to, do it as far as training and everything else, but whoever the defensive coordinator got, he going to look and be like, I got this. I got Bosa, Michael Williams, I got Fred Warner, I got D. Winters, I got Tatum Bethune, and Nick Martin. He got some hitters. Alfred Collins up front, he got some hitters. You know what I'm saying? And then, what you do is, like I said, if I'm the Niners, I'm going free agency. I want that defensive line stacked. I want it. This will never happen again. It should not happen again. Because, like I said, the reason quarterbacks had so much time, because the defensive line, we didn't get no pressure. Wasn't getting no pressure. So they're going to have to get that pass rush solidified. That's just what it is. That's just what it is. And the offensive line, they got to fix that. I don't know. They like this offensive line. I guess, even Purdy, he speaks highly on the offensive line. You can't really say too much about him. How you going to make them mad and they supposed to protect you? But then I say, well, are they really protecting you? Well, you was running for your life. So it's an either or, you know what I'm saying? But now we're going to wait. It's going to be a lot of changes coming. I'm kind of excited about it. Saying to see who they're going to bring in, especially for defensive coordinator. We can talk about all we want to about Steve Wilkes. We did get to the Super Bowl with him. See, to me, he was a scapegoat. We got to the Super Bowl with Steve Wilkes. We could say, yeah, well, he didn't do this, he didn't do that. We got to the Super Bowl with him. That defense still got us to the Super Bowl. The defense that he was running still got us to the Super Bowl. So, you can say what you want to about Steve Wilkes. Now, it's a lot of things I didn't agree with, but we did get to the Super Bowl with him. So, on that note, I'm saying, let me know what y'all think. Like I said, Salah up out of here. So, hey, handle your business, Salah. Handle your business. You know what I'm saying? I wish him well. I'm saying, I hope he getting everything he want up out of that. I'm saying, I hope he getting everything he want out of that. So, let me know what y'all think. Leave it in the comments. Peace. I'm out of here.